brief history of Hannah More, who rests here at Wrington, All Saints. Hannah More, February 1745, the 7th of September, 1833, was an English religious writer, philanthropist, poet, and playwright in the circle of Johnson, Reynolds and Garrick, who wrote on moral and religious subjects. Born in Bristol, she taught at a school her father founded there and began writing plays. She became involved in the London literary elite and a leading bluestocking member. Her later plays and poetry became more evangelical. She joined a group opposing the slave trade. In the 1790s, she wrote cheap repository tracts on moral, religious, and political topics to distribute to the literate poor as a retort to Thomas Paine's Rights of Man. Meanwhile, she broadened her links with schools she and her sister Martha had founded in rural Somerset. These curbed their teaching of the poor, allowing limited reading but no writing. More was noted for her political conservatism, being described as an anti-feminist, a counter-revolutionary, or a conservative feminist. John Locke was born in a thatched cottage near All Saints Church. He was a famous philosopher. Born in 1745 at Fishponds in the parish of Stapleton, near Bristol, Hannah More was the fourth of 5 daughters of Jacob More, 1700 to 1783, a schoolmaster from a strong Presbyterian family in Harleston, Norfolk, who had joined the Church of England. He sought to pursue a clerical career, but after losing a lawsuit over an estate he had hoped to inherit, he moved to Bristol, where he became an excise officer and later taught at the Fishponds Free School. The sisters were first educated by their father, learning Latin and mathematics. Hannah was also taught by elder sisters, through whom she learned French, which she improved conversationally by spending time with French prisoners of war in Frenchay during the 7 Years' War. She was an assiduous, discerning student. Family tradition has it that she began writing at an early age. In 1758, Jacob established a girls' boarding school at Trinity Street, Bristol, for the elder sisters, Mary and Elizabeth, to run, while he and his wife moved to Stony Hill in the city to open a school for boys. Hannah More became a pupil in the girls' school when she was 12 years old and taught there in early adulthood. In 1767, More gave up her share in the school on becoming engaged to William Turner of the Belmont Estate, Wraxall, Somerset, whom she had met when he began teaching her cousins. After 6 years, the wedding had not taken place. Turner seemed reluctant to name a date, and in 1773 the engagement was broken off. It seems this led More into a nervous breakdown, from which she recuperated in Uphill, near Weston-super-Mare. She was induced to accept a £200 annuity from Turner as compensation. This freed her for literary pursuits. In the winter of 1773 to 1774, she went to London with her sisters, Sarah and Martha, the first of many such trips at yearly intervals. Some verses she had written on David Garrick's version of King Lear led to an acquaintance with him. She later moved to Bath, where she stayed between 1792 and 1802 on Great Pulteney Street. More's first literary efforts were pastoral plays written while she was still teaching and suitable for young ladies to act. The first was The Search After Happiness, written in 1762. By the mid-1780s, over 10,000 copies of this had been sold. Among her literary models was Metastasio, on whose opera Attilio Regulo she based a drama, The Inflexible Captive. Several local schools and St. Michael's Church, Reisterstown, Maryland, are named after More. Hannah More Primary School was built in Bristol Old Market in 1840. Her image appeared in 2012 on the Bristol Pound, a local currency. The street in Wrington where she was buried has been named Hannah More Close. However, the Liberal politician Augustine Birrell, in his 1906 work Hannah More Once More, claimed to have buried all 19 volumes of More's works in his garden in disgust. In Hannah More's last years, philanthropists from all parts made pilgrimages to Wrington, and after 1828 to Clifton, where she died on the 7th of September, 1833. More left about £30,000, chiefly in legacies to charitable institutions and religious societies. The The residue was to go to a new church of St. Philip and St. Jacob in Bristol. She was buried beside her sisters at the Church of All Saints, Wrington, which has a bust of her in the south porch, beside one of the local Son John Locke.